It's not news anymore. Blood sugar disorders, including insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, have become epidemic in every population that has adopted the standard American diet. If you haven't seen my YouTube video, Insulin Resistance and Type 2 Diabetes, the risks your body wants you to know about, I invite you to click over and watch it. It's only 7 minutes long. The statistics indicate that many of us, even those of us who think we are safe, may be headed for trouble. Those same statistics in Canada and the USA are very similar, and they are not pretty. Blood sugar disorders are on the rise at alarming rates. In 2015, 9.3% of the population had diabetes, and another 22.1% were insulin resistant, also known as pre-diabetic. By 2025, that's only 7 years away, it's projected that the numbers will have increased to 12.1% with diabetes and 23.2% as pre-diabetic. That's nearly 1/4 of the population pre-diabetic. Harvard University reports that 9 out of every 10 cases of type 2 diabetes could be avoided by making lifestyle and diet changes. Among those changes, simply walking for 30 minutes per day reduces the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by a whopping 30%. Easy, right? Yet most North Americans won't make any of the simple changes that could protect their health. The irides, or colored parts of the eyes, teach us about genetic potential. When we see certain markings, we know the body has inherited corresponding weak links that need protecting and shoring up. The sclerae, or whites of the eyes, on the other hand, teach us what is going on now, what the person has earned, and what the active or brewing problems are. Let's look at some iris and sclera markers now. The first iris indicator, polyglandular, is one that falls into the physical integrity subtype category. This is a genetic indicator. It will not change with diet or supplements or cleansing. This subtype is defined by the presence of many lacuna, leaf or petal shapes like these, that are attached to the collarette, also known as the autonomic nerve wreath in some iridology circles. It doesn't matter what color the eye is or what other markings we see. The presence of many lacunae attached to the collarette is all we need. When the lacunae are attached to the collarette, they sit in the zone of the iris that holds reflex points for many of the endocrine glands, including the adrenals, parathyroids, pancreas, pituitary, pineal, heart, and thymus. The predominant glands when we are speaking of blood sugar imbalances are the pancreas, adrenals, and thyroid. The second iris indicator is pigment. Pigment may be genetic and inherited, or acquired and earned. Monitoring a client's eyes annually, most especially with high-quality photographic equipment, is essential for tracking whether pigment is staying put or accumulating. Accumulation suggests an imbalance that is active. It's important to note that irides do not give up pigment once it is deposited. Cleansing and supplements will not remove pigment. What precisely are we looking for when we talk about pigment as a potential blood sugar indicator? We're looking for accumulations of dirty orange, rust color, or dark brown pigment. These each speak of a few different potentials, but they all share one common one: the predisposition to pancreatic imbalance and blood sugar instability. Some people may have no extra pigment at all, while others may have a wide variety of extra pigments, including all three of the pigment colors that suggest challenges with pancreas function and blood sugar metabolism. The last indicator we are going to look at is a sclera indicator, the fermentation sign. Indicators in the sclera are primarily dynamic. They teach us about the current situation in the body. With only a few exceptions, many indicators in the sclera can be reduced or improved through proper diet, supplements, and lifestyle. But this does take time and real dedication to making the required improvements. It's not an overnight project or a once and done project. The fermentation sign is a dark black or blue dot, usually at the end of a blood vessel. The blood vessel is often at least slightly engorged. The dot will almost always have dark, usually brown clouding around it. This marker is suggestive of problems metabolizing carbohydrates or yeast or fungal infiltrations. As with all iris markings, they only suggest potential. They never determine absolutes. A person who has all the markings for blood sugar issues may be able to avoid problems entirely through sound diet hygiene, proper supplementation, supportive lifestyle practices, and maintaining emotional balance. Conversely, the absence of markings that could suggest blood sugar issues would not guarantee protection against the same if the diet, lifestyle, and emotions are faulty. The polyglandular subtype, specific pigment colors, and fermentation sign are just some of the possible endocrine blood sugar indicators we can identify.